What's going on with it, y'all? Y'all already know what it is, who it is. You know what I mean? You don't have to guess. You already know it's Guess Who, the rapper, a.k.a. the Grand Ambassador. Flash Dynasty here to lace your brain with some incredible and glorious game once again, man. And, before we get started, you know what I'm saying? I want to say if you like yourself, hit that like button. You like somebody else, hit that share button. But if you love yourself, hit that subscribe button. If you want to get your certification, you know what I'm saying, hit that notification button. That way you receive the notification of the video as soon as it drop. You know what I mean? I'm your host coming in capacity as the reluctant YouTuber, right? And I just want to touch on something real quick. Normally when I get up here, I have like a preconceived notion of what I want to talk about, or sometimes I get inspirations from a bit of conversations and things like that. I don't know if y'all got a chance to enjoy my last video with the lovely Janelle, and we talking about online dating and online relationships. But I want to talk about something that I titled Separation-Ship. Now, listen, I'm the one that coined the phrase, so if you had anybody else saying separation-ship, they got it from me. You know what I'm saying? Y'all never heard it. And if you have, I've never heard it. But a separation-ship. And I'm going to explain another topic another day of another term that I formulated, right? So here's my definition of separation-ship. A separation-ship, what is that? That's when two people were once together and they had some sort of out or disagreement, or there's some sort of fallacy or something that transpired within the relationship that caused them to separate. But though they're separated, there's still a remnant of feelings for one another, and there's a space for reconciliation. There's a space for reconciliation, and a little bit more of information is needed. So y'all sitting there, you're trying to work things out. Maybe this is the dynamic of particularly how it works. One person likes the other person, and the other better more than they like them. You know what I'm saying? Say if it's the woman that likes that man more than he likes her. In my opinion, that's the proper order of how it should be. Vice versa, if it's the other way around, I feel if that brother likes that woman more than he likes her, hey, I feel for you, brother, because that is out of order, in my opinion. That's out of order. It's out of balance. I think it's, out of the alignment and will of God for you to be in that particular predicament. You know what I'm saying? But at sometimes, well, let me stick with the men. If you're in that predicament, a separation-ship is bound to happen, because that woman is going to look at that imbalance and she's going to lose respect for you, because it should be the other way around, where she should be liking you more than you like her. Because let me tell you what happens when you like her more than she likes you. You're more susceptible of trying to be a helpmeet to her, or falling under her jurisdiction, under her authority, and being in a part of her realm or sphere of ideas and her world, so to speak, when God ordained it for it to be totally opposite, where she should be in your world, in your realm, in your sphere of ideas, to where, like my man Sinful the P would say, your opinion will have dominion in all situations, and she will not be looking for equality or equality within the relationship, or she wouldn't be looking down or elevated in their relationship. She wouldn't be looking down on you, or she wouldn't be elevated. This is her. This is you. That's how it is when you like her more than she likes you. And the separation-ship is bound to happen. It's going to cause her to repel from you. If you're not meeting her particular standards and you're, say, like staying with her, you know, you're more likely to get put out. If you are not living up to her standards, she can find somebody else and deal with somebody else and potentially cheat on you and not be faithful to you due to that imbalance. Now, so that's why I said I feel for you, and then you'll be in what we call a separation-ship, unless you turn the tides or turn that polarity back in your favor, meaning you get to the point where you're exemplifying why and giving her reasons why she should respect you, by you respecting yourself, by changing your self-image, you know what I mean, and not tolerating yourself to be in a predicament to where you're liking her more than she likes you. If that's the case, then we'll go something beyond separation-ship, you know what I mean, to where it'll become more permanent and it'll be solidified, and where you have to start over with another individual. Because one thing is true, one thing for sure, two things for certain is that how you begin is with a woman is how you're going to end. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes how you begin, and if you change the polarity of that situation, then you're going to have to go back to the beginning. Because if you remain changed, meaning you were once the object of her eye, and you know, she used to like you more than you liked her, and then within the course of that relationship, you start liking her more than she likes you, you're going to change her total perception of you. And whether they know it or not, they lose respect for you. You know what I'm saying? So you got, in that case, yeah, you began strong and you began in the right place, but you didn't maintain it. See, because sometimes this is how it goes. You campaign, you obtain, but you have to maintain. You know what I mean? Your catch hand might be very good, but your keep hand ain't there because there's something that's not maintained. You didn't maintain that frequency, that energy, that aura, that swag, that confidence, whatever. Sometimes you might get coochie whipped. You know what I'm saying? You came in strong, but that wet thing was too good. It was too good for you, and she sees that. She's very perceptive of that, and then the polarity of the relationship change, right? The only way to change that around is to go back into yourself, find out who you are, who you were in the beginning, and return that energy and turn back into that person. And then basically you're going to come up with, allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is boom, boom, boom. That's the only way. And you have to live like that, and you have to be that. And if they can't accept it, then it's going to go from separation-ship to a whole nother stage. You know what I'm saying? Now, let's deal with your women real quick. Now, the women, this is your proper position for you to like that man more than he likes you. That is the proper divine order of how that situation should be, right? Because if I just explained to you, if it's the other way around, separation-ship is bound to happen. You know what I'm saying? And women are repelled and subject their they are repelled and against a man who is subject or is given to change, or who is given to be subjected to change at any time, where he's not maintaining his what? Manhood. Now, say it's the other way around. It's the proper way around. But here's the kicker. You like him more than he likes you. That's the proper realm, right? That's the proper order, right? But what if you met him and you like him more than he likes you, but you met him and he was giving off a false image or off a false pretense, and he gave you this energy that you like, this masculine energy, this untainable energy, this confident energy, but some of his characteristics it was falsified from the very beginning, and they were representing an image that wasn't really them. You fell in love, or you like this person more than they liked you, because you fell in love, or you got emotionally connected to an image of that person, of who they said they were, or who they perceived they were, or who you perceived them to be, or how they portrayed themselves to be. But guess what? They campaigned that, and they obtained you because of that. But you already caught up emotionally, spiritually, physically, sexually to the false image of who you thought they were, not considering the source, especially of how you met them, where you met them, why you met them. You know what I'm saying? And these are the things I learned. So here you're tied down, you know what I'm saying, bound to this person of who you thought they were. This is their image that they portray before you. It's like a profile, like I'm highly critical of online dating. It's just like y'all saw me with Janelle the other night. That is a profile of who they want to project to the world of who they are. But in truth, that's not who they are. They don't have the characteristics of who they profess to be in their written description of their profile. So you're not going to see that at first. So they have to put on an Academy Award winning performance and role, and to play the role of who you like and what you like, or what you said you like on your profile. Say you like what you're looking for. They have to match that, get you to attach to that, and get you physically, spiritually, mentally, sexually, physically attached to that. And now you are in the proper dynamic as far as when it comes to men and women, meaning you should like him more than he likes you, but he is not who he professes to be. And that's the issue. You start finding out that they are not that image, and here you are in combat with yourself as, how in the world did you get here? How did this happen? Separation-Ship. So once he starts exhibiting this behavior, and then y'all may have an argument, discussion, and y'all break up, and here it is, because you like him more than he likes you, you're stuck, because he has revealed himself. You know what I'm saying? The real him came out. He started acting different. He started, maybe not calling you, or maybe start mistreating you, or ignoring your feelings and not taking your feelings into consideration. You try to bring a issue to him, and he may say something that you starting to nag me, and you reminding me of my ex-girlfriend. He's still carrying the baggage of his ex-girlfriend, or he's having unstable moods, and some even resort to just straight up having what they call in Wesley Snipes and Sanaa Lathan movie a disappearing act, and just gone, leave you in limbo, and your emotions are tied to them. So it's like, okay, wow, I'm now, you as a female, you're emotionally attached to them, and y'all in a separation-ship. So since he exposed himself, and you try to rectify the situation because you like him more than he likes you, and you're trying to fix the situation, and the other party is not willing, or not as willing, because he knows that you like him more than he likes you, but you're not, you like the person who he professed to be, but he didn't manifest. There was no manifestation, no real long-term manifestation of who he professed himself to be. At first. It took a little time. See, I'm going to tell you, the element to show you who a person really is, I use this like a bushel of, like a brush, like of wood, a log of wood, and gold. You know what element, you add this one element to reveal who they really are. Now, and that element is fire. You hit that brush with fire, gonna evaporate quick. That means you're gonna know that person immediately. They're gonna come out immediately. You'll know them. Immediately, and the relationship will dissolve quick, and you won't have no qualms. It won't even have time for you to get emotionally attached to them. The most deceptive one out of all of them, out of all three of them, is the wood, the log of wood. Let's put that wood in the chimney or something, or, in the fireplace. Oh, you hit that, they use the element called fire. Oh, when they hit that wood, check this out. You don't know what it is. You know it ain't the brush. You know what I mean? You know it ain't a ball of hay, because it would have been gone. Oh, but it takes longer to burn that log, right? It takes long enough for you to get tied to him, bound to him, and some even love or infatuation of an idea of who that person was. You thought they were the other element, but watch this. But guess what? In time, that element called fire, it eventually consumes even that log of wood in that fireplace. But by then, you already tied in, because it took longer. And then we have the final element. You have the final piece, which is the gold. You have the gold. Now you let fire hit that. The fire does what to gold? It purifies it. It brings up all the impurities and dross. And it gets rid of all the impurities out of the gold. And that person is that type of person that you really found someone in. You really found somebody that's really authentic. You know what I mean? And they really are down for you. You know what I'm saying? They official, like a referee's whistle. You dig? You know what I mean? They are really there for you, and you really found someone, because their hearts are made of gold. They're made of gold. You know what I mean? And they remain. Fire can't devour them. Fire can't destroy them. But the brush and the log, they eventually be destroyed. So while you're the log and you're in this separation-ship, you know what I mean? Where y'all both together, and it's a possibility of reconciliation, where one is thinking about the other and y'all thinking about each other, or one is thinking about the other and the other one ain't thinking about this one at all. And it's a separation-ship. It hasn't reached to the complete ending yet. So when you're in that separation-ship, there's a lot of feelings involved. There's a lot of attachment still involved. You know what I mean? And and there's a potentiality of you can potentially reach out to that person, and though they may not answer right away, they might answer here, a little there, and if they're not answering, you might even take a chance on visiting them. They still might be in the same location, and they still receptive to you a little bit, but eventually something transpires to where y'all end up separating, but you still have access to them. You know what I mean? That separation-ship, you know what I mean? So, that's what I'm talking about. So, when you're dealing with the separation-ship, these are the kind of emotions you got to go through until it reach yet another stage. And I'm going to talk about this one in my next video probably on tomorrow. Is another phrase that I term called Expiration-Ship. That's different from Separation-Ship. I just wanted to come to put some paint where it ain't and say what most can't when it comes to anybody dealing with a separation-ship, and you're still in the land of where is this relationship going? Do I still have a chance with him? Do I still have a chance with her? And there may be a possibility of reconciliation, but it's looking very shaky. You're trying to find out which element I'm dealing with. Am I dealing with a brush? Am I dealing with the log of wood? And am I dealing with the gold? Because now the fire has hit. The disagreement has hit. The disappointment has hit. Where am I? Where do we stand? And then you're in separate locations too. He's in his place, you're in your place, yet there's a potentiality of reconciliation. But during this process, while you're trying to find out where you are, you utilize this time to look introspectively and take a intellectual excursion, or go on a mental safari and go back and find out your participation that contributed to the separation. So, go back in your mind and find out the location of where you met this person and what they have done to contribute to this separation, and to see if it was, if y'all are unequally yoked or equally yoked. So there's a lot of question marks, you know what I mean, going on in this phase of separation-ship. It hasn't reached the next stage yet to where it's a finality of it, you know what I mean, of where it's either reconciliation-ship or we enter into the next stage called expiration-ship. You know what I mean? And I'll be dealing with that on tomorrow. So yeah, once again, man, I kind of wanted to drop that on y'all. Hope that helps you in some way, shape, form, or fashion, of where you're in the middle, you're in that valley of decision of trying to find out what's actually occurring within your relationship and analyzing it. You know what I mean? So this is the stage of analyzation during your separation-ship, because something caused y'all to go apart, and this is the time where you start reflecting. But more importantly, you have to reflect on your participation that may have led to the separation. That will lead to a personal salvation, you know what I mean, within your, because you can begin to learn from whatever mistakes you made, whatever, and take what most people say that women don't have, and what most people need to acknowledge is accountability. that need to become your friend, especially with the women, because they're emotional. And this is, I'm only addressing what is being said of the women mostly. They're talking about they have a lack of accountability, and when you look at certain things that you see going on social media and all of that, that the women are trying to basically prove everybody right. No, there's time out for that. And men also need to hold themselves accountable for their participation that contributed to the separation. And y'all entered into this phase of separation-ship where you don't know, what exactly caused. So it's time to sit back for analyzation and in hopes for reconciliation. But if not, we're going to enter into another phrase that I've coined, which is expiration-ship. And we will deal with that on a later date. Okay? So, y'all live the life you love the life you live. Like I say, hey, this is Gues the Rapper as your host in the capacity of the reluctant YouTuber. You know what I'm saying? Y'all have a blast past while now and a greater later. Live the life of your design so you can have a good time for a lifetime. Live the life of his design so your life will be divine for a lifetime. It's always about the glow, baby. Glow gang for show. I'm out. Peace. I love y'all.